When we talk of Shakespeare's history plays, David Daiches divides them mainly in two groups. The first group consists of Henry VI Part 1, Henry VI Part 2, Henry VI Part 3 and Richard III. The second group consists of Richard II, Henry IV Part 1, Henry IV Part 2 and Henry V. As we can see, chronologically the second group came earlier. So when we analyze them, we find the first group of plays gives the second part of epic story. Which kind of epic story? As you know, in most of the epics we talk of war. So here he talks of civil war. Civil war, you understand? Civil war is something that is happened within the country or within the state when some a war is happening in between two countries. That is not called civil war. Civil war happens inside or within the country. So the condition of civil war, so how was it taking place? As you know very well that when there is the matter of throne, prosperity, property, power, everybody takes interest in getting power. As we can see in Indian history as well, how the people of the same family, they used to murder other people for getting throne, or how the nobles, they used to intricate conspiracy for dethrone the king and to get the throne for himself. So this first group gives the second part of epic story, that is about civil war and tyranny, followed by Tudor regeneration. We'll talk of the word Tudor later because it is coming again and again. So we'll have to understand what Tudor is all about. When we talk of this second group that consists of Richard II, Henry IV Part 1, Henry IV Part 2 and Henry V, it talks of original causes of it all. Means the civil war or tyranny that we see in the first group, the reason behind these all activities, we find those reasons here in second group of plays. Except these two groups, we have one more history play by Shakespeare, and that is King John. It dramatizes the reign of John, King of England, son of Henry II and father of Henry III. Mind it, he is in between Henry II and Henry III. Means he is son of Henry II and father of Henry III. When we talk of the name John, it makes us confused with several other works in English literature. So we'll have to understand what are those other works, who seems somehow similar to this word. As we have a play by G.B. Shaw, which name is Saint John, J-O-A-N, Saint John. There is another play which name is Saint John's Eve, Saint John's, John apostrophe S, Eve, E-V-E, Saint John's Eve. This is the name of a play by Henrik Ibsen, the Norwegian playwright who is considered to be father of modern drama. Then there is one poem by Lord Byron. Its name was Don Juan, J-U-A-N. So don't be confused with these words J-O-H-N, J-O-A-N, J-U-A-N. They are different. So Don Juan, D-O-N-J-U-A-N, Don Juan, that is a poem by Lord Byron, the great romantics, who called it an epic satire. So it's like an epic, but it is written for satirizing. So it is an epic satire, as Byron himself calls it. There is one more thing which is connected with the G.B. Shaw. He wrote one drama, a very philosophic drama. I should say the most philosophic one. The name of the drama is Man and Superman. The drama in which he talks of Ellen Whittle, the term which is talked of by Friedrich Nietzsche, and for which the term that is used by Shaw is life force, L-I-F-E-F-O-R-C-E. In this particular play, Man and Superman, the third act, name of which is Don Juan in Hell. Don Juan in Hell, I-N-H-E-L-L, Don Juan in Hell. That is a non-realistic dream episode. So basically, when you read this, you will find that here we find the protagonist of the drama, John Tanner. He is in his dream, and there he becomes Don Juan and finds himself in hell. A very long philosophic conversation we find here in third act. This is the kind of act that is there in the drama. When you remove this particular act, you will find no any effect on the story of the drama. You will find it okay, means this particular act can be removed from Man and Superman. That will not affect the drama. But as you know, Shaw was an intellectual, and he used to believe in philosophy. So his concern was not art for art's sake. In fact, he believed in art for life's sake. That is why he always used to propagate his philosophy through his plays. Now come back. We have to talk of Tudor, T-U-D-O-R. Basically, Tudor is a dynasty you can say, जिसको हिंदी में वंश बोलते हैं. Tudor dynasty, it is a series of kings and queens of England from 1485 to 1603. And on their dynasty, the name of house is there, means royal house that we have, that is House of Tudor, an English royal house of Welsh origin, W-E-L-S-H, Welsh. Welsh is used for the people of a country, Wales, W-A-L-E-S. So Wales is the name of the country, and Welsh, W-E-L-S-H, is used for the people belonging to that country. As you know, Wales is a country among 3.5 countries those constitute United Kingdom. UK consists of 3.5 countries. First one is Scotland, second one is Scotland, then we have Wales, then we have England, and the half one is Northern Ireland. So these 3.5 make United Kingdom. So House of Tudor, an English royal house of Welsh origin, and as we know, their span was from 1485 to 1603. The name of the rulers belonging to this particular house or dynasty, they were Henry VII, Henry VIII, Edward VI, Lady Jane Grey, Mary I, then the last one is Elizabeth I, who ruled from 1558 to 1603, and on her name, the name of the age we find Elizabethan age, the age to which Shakespeare belonged. So she was Elizabeth I. And nowadays, who is ruling there in London, means as a queen, who is there? It is, or I should say, she is Elizabeth II. Lady Jane Grey, she ruled for just 9 days, and actually she did not get the throne, but she was the ruler for 9 days only. So somewhere you will not find her name in this House of Tudor or Tudor dynasty. So let's talk of history in chronological order. Before House of Tudor, House of Plantagenet ruled. Plantagenet, Plantagenet, and they ruled from 1154 to 1485. Then came House of Tudor, and they ruled from 1485 to 1603. After them, House of Stuart succeeded, and they ruled for from 1603 to 49, and then 1660 to 1714. Why is the gap there in between 1649 to 1660? You know very well. This was the time when Oliver Cromwell took the throne and he became the ruler. He declared himself the ruler. So at that time, no monarchy was there, no king was there. Oliver Cromwell was a ruler who ruled from 1649, the time when Charles I was beheaded, and he ruled till 1660, and this was the time when restoration took place. Restoration means when the son of Charles I, means Charles II, he returned from France and he took the throne, became the king. So restoration of monarchy is famously known as restoration in English history. As you know, Dr. Samuel Johnson, he was a great admirer of Shakespeare. Of course, he criticized him in some perspectives, but he appreciated him a lot. He said of Shakespeare, his story requires Romans or kings, but he thinks only on men. Means when you see the protagonists of Shakespeare, of course, especially when you talk of history plays, they are the people of higher strata of life, higher status of life, generally kings. So of course they are kings, Romans or kings, but the way he deals with their character, means the way he deals with their behavior, he thinks only on man. His story requires Romans or kings, but he thinks only on men. Means the behavior or the attitude that he shows in them, that shows how much psychologically he was aware about the human behavior. So even if he depicted the people of higher birth, he did not forget natural human behavior or their depiction. Now let's talk about some of romantic comedies of Shakespeare. It begins from the Two Gentlemen of Verona, published in 1594, which tells the story of two brothers, how they were working hard for their sisters. After this, the Two Gentlemen of Verona, we have Love's Labour's Lost, LOVE'(S), LOBOUR'(S), Lost, LOST. Love's Labour's Lost in 1594. The depiction of which you can find on the cover pages, both the cover pages of Edward Albert's book, History of English Literature. Then comes A Midsummer Night's Dream, 1596. The Merchant of Venice, 1596 to 97. See, here Daiches talks of Merchant of Venice as a romantic comedy. But when you read M.H. Abrams, and there is one literary term, tragicomedy, in that particular genre, M.H. Abrams put this particular play of Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice, as a tragicomedy. Of course, when we talk of the plays of Shakespeare, we cannot categorize them very accurately that they belong to this particular place only, and that is why we find differences, because several things we can find out in Shakespeare's plays. Then other play, Much Ado About Nothing, published in between 98 and 99, means 1598 to 99. Then comes As You Like It, in between 1599 to 1600. Then Twelfth Night, which is actually of course high romantic comedy we talked about earlier. 1599 to 1600. For this particular play, Twelfth Night, Shakespeare blended different elements, and he took those elements from John Lilly and Robert Greene. These two people were from university wits, and they are known for their comedies. So some elements he took from these two dramatists, John Lilly and Robert Greene, and from Spanish pastoral romance. The name of this pastoral romance is Diana Enamorada, Diana, Diana Enamorada, Enamorada, and it was written by George D. Montemayor, George George D. Montemayor, Montemajor. And some elements he took from Italian comedy. So see, for writing this one play, Twelfth Night, he took elements from different sources. One is some elements from John Lilly and Robert Greene, then some from pastoral romance, Diana Enamorada, and then Italian comedy, from Italian comedy. We find one description about his play, Love's Labour's Lost, on its title page, and this talks of that particular play, and we should remember it because the questions come like this. They will give the quotation, and they will ask in this particular quotation which drama the quotation talks about. So it's about Love's Labour's Lost, and I am quoting it here within quotation mark. A pleasant, conceited comedy. So for Love's Labour's Lost, it is said that it is a pleasant, conceited comedy ... presented before Her Highness. Means it was written for Queen Elizabeth. It was written for royal spectators. So it means Shakespeare was acquainted with royal traditions as well. He was aware of courtly wit, and as we know, he had the connections to the people of royal family, as we'll talk about it later, that how he dedicated his two long narrative poems to Earl of Southampton. The first was dedicated because he was the patron of him, but the second poem that he dedicates to Earl of Southampton, it was because of his affection towards that person. So what is the description of Love's Labour's Lost on its title page? A pleasant, conceited comedy presented before Her Highness this last Christmas, newly corrected and augmented by William Shakespeare. Why corrected? It means it was earlier published in bad quarto, and then again it was republished as corrected edition, corrected and augmented by William Shakespeare. That's all for this particular topic.